Oh dear, the chat seems to be right in the middle of the screen. We can't have that, can we? You're supposed to be there, chat. What are you doing? It's very small as well, that chat. I think I might... There you go. That's nice. Nice size chat. Let's lock that off. Cool. I think we're in. All right. So yeah, here's the project. I think, am I quite big on the screen as well? I think I might just make everything a bit smaller. I'll tell you what it was. I set the screen up the other day for 720p, and now I've got decent Wi-Fi. I switched back to 1080, I think. Am I in 1080? I don't know. Let's be smaller like that. There we go. Cool. All right. So here's the project. I've got everything sort of folded up right now, so you can see it all in one page. But yeah, as you can see, you've got the drum bus, you've got a bass bus, you've got Howard's vocals, you've got a lot of synths going on in the synth bus, and then some ambient sounds down here, and then 2 buses where I route everything through all the vocals and all the instruments. So yeah, let's start collapsing some of this stuff. So there's the drums. There's Zed's bass, this huge purple thing with some angry pink bass at the end. Howard's vocals, quite a lot of those, nice harmony stacks. The synth bus, a lot of synth stuff going on there. This is really wide, I can do that, there we go. And then, yeah, the ambient stuff, ambient noise at the bottom. So, yeah, let's get into it. I'm a bit far away, so I'm just going to come in a bit. Still haven't got myself a proper chair. I'm sitting on like a wooden stool. It's really, like, my butt is not okay. Okie doke. So, yeah, first up, the tune starts with chords and the bass. Yeah, first thing to say is the chords are keyscape. I never even bounced them to audio. It's just MIDI. So that's, Howard jamming we're on the Vintage Vibe electric piano setting. I've tweaked it a bit, turned off the tremolo, did a bit of EQ, but it's very raw and just plain sounding. But there's a lot of plugins going on, so should probably go through those. So here's how it sounds. Whoa, that's a strange loop you got going on there. So just a load of like effects happening here. So the EQ is doing the filter up and down. You've got some Echo Boy doing like some delay. You got Valhalla reverb. I'm just, throughout the entire song, there's a lot of movement happening in the keys, especially here. This insanely long filter sweep going up and again at the end. So yeah, there's a lot to see there. It looks pretty mad actually looking at it as one. So I'll just zoom in a bit. Here it is with no plugins. Actually, let me turn off my master output plugins as well so you can hear it raw. So this is what Howard played in. So first up, going through some blue stripe compression, giving it some front end punch. Bit of overdrive, and then a bit of this EQ, which is doing the bulk of the sound shape. And then a bit of decapitator. It's just adding like a slight sort of analog-y buzz. That bzz, bzz on top. Just wanted it to sound a bit more like it was going through an amp. But I didn't want to use an amp setting because they can always, they're too aggressive, I find. Delay. Lush reverb. You can see the levels moving up and down there. And then a bit of RC20 at the end, which is probably just doing some like... Oh, that's right. RC20, I updated my Mac 2 days ago and they haven't done one for the new version yet, so it's not working. But I'm pretty sure RC20 was just going like up and down in the pitch very slowly, just to make it sort of feel a bit floaty and a bit wavy. You could do the same thing with like modulation delay, but I kind of liked doing it with the RC20 at the end of the chain because it was also pitching the reverb up and down all together. So I put it there. A bit of sidechain compression at the end, and then good old Logic chorus for the wideness. You'll hear that in headphones compared to that down the middle. Just a little bit. Then I think Dream Keys I made from this. So I basically turned the reverb and the delays on like full blast. Are people saying that the audio's sounding weird? What does it sound like? Does it sound phasey or something? Or shouldn't do. Got everything. No, it's good, yeah? It doesn't sound like there's two of me or anything. Okay, good. Sweet. Yeah, so Dream Keys is this sound, but with like all the effects on full wet, and just kind of like doing some just like sweepy, swirly sounds. I don't know how to describe it really, but it was definitely built from that. And I think what I did is I reversed all the MIDI, so the chords played backwards, played that through the reverb, and then reversed that audio region. Do you know what I mean? So that each reverb is going like zip, 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 instead of pew, 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 but the chords are in the right order. It might be that. It might just be loads of reverb. I'm not sure, but that's one way of doing it. You know, reverse reverb tails that come and go. So those together give you this nice like dreamy, atmospheric thing. Then there's like a poly 6 that comes in. And there's some like mad modulation going on there just to sort of throw everyone off a bit. Whoop. It's not velocity, yeah, pitch bend. So it gets really skew whiff at the end of this. So yeah, out of tune, out of key, but it's kind of cool. And underneath Howard's vocals, it just sort of made it all disappear into mush, you know. And then the chords carry on, and that's actually it. Like for synths, it's just those three, and then there's like a lot of things happening once or twice, like a lot of extra bits, which Anton put in, like this ARP at the end, and yeah, we'll get to that. Actually, yeah, this is the club edit. I should probably change back to the original. The club edit is basically just like I made it just for my DJ sets with like just drums at the end, so it's easier to mix out. Yeah, I usually make like 2 versions or 3 sometimes just for myself. But let's go to the actual version so that it ends like it does in the song. I can play you that one, and I can play you this one quickly. Actually, it's literally just. It just ends a bit different. Whoa. Too much CPU. Yeah, so you like at the end, you know, instead of going back to chords, it just like rolls out. Oh, hang on. Let's let the CPU calm down. It did not like that transition. Look at this. Calm down. It did not like that. Okay, I think I screwed up the project. That means probably just open the real one. Yeah, it basically just does like the acid jam, and then the chords never come back in. It just goes to bass and drums, and then rolling kick, you know. Project alternatives. Yeah, that's the one. Also, fun fact, this tune for a while was called Wasted, because A, that's the first word of the tune, and it kind of sets the it does set the tone. But then, you know, the hook is the most important line, I think, in the tune is you've got to let go if you want to be free. And we just felt like that was such a great line for these times, you know, with things beginning to open up again and trying to not live in fear about everything that's happened. And, you know, we just felt like that phrase, that whole sentence was too important to not be the title, even though it is hilariously long. Like, it's so long. Like, it's too long for a title. It's literally 2 lines. It's a whole sentence. And the acronym for it as well is equally insane. Like, it doesn't solve really any problems by just saying, oh yeah, YG, however the hell he's it's way too long. So but we didn't care. To be honest, everyone sort of talking about how it's too long has actually just been like kind of fun and funny. So I don't really care. All right, here's the real version. Let's get back to this. CPU is still insanely high, so what I'm going to do is close down some of the plugs on the output tracks. We definitely don't need all of these in their super high modes. Don't need linear phase on any of that. Those are all good. Yeah, that should help. Cool. All right, so we've done the synths, dream keys, I think we should do the bass now until we do the rest of the synths, because the bass is like one of the most important parts of the song. So yeah, let's get to it. So this here is basically just a huge amount of chopped up bits from Zed's jam on his synth. Some of them do loop a few times, like you can see here, like this main bit is repeating. But it was all played in by hand, no MIDI send. I've flexed it. I think I did quantize, and then I painfully went through everything and sort of did some fun triplet-y bits, and I sort of used flex to mess up a lot of what he did as well. Like, there's some stretches in here that are so long that flex kind of goes but in a cool way. So I kind of just like, I don't know, I just thought that was fine. You know, it didn't have to be exactly how he played it. It just needed to sound interesting and different each time. So when I hear one of those moments, I'll point it out. But it's a super stabby, super punchy bass line. Here it is. Yeah, I mean, that part is like, that's the chilled bit, you know. There's some bits where it goes absolutely mental. Jeez! Yeah, I'm really pleased with the automation work around this. Look at this. Look at this carnage. It looks like a child drew with just a pen, like anything they wanted. What a mess. But a great mess. Oh, yeah, and it was a dog for some reason. I don't know why. We just all thought it was right. That's for the acid jam part at the end, so I'll get to that. So yeah, this is all Zed's bass. I can open the raw file, so you can see here. I can't zoom out much more than that, I don't think. But yeah, it's like this whole thing. It's pretty long, and I've just taken bits and bobs throughout. So this was the first thing that he played on the day. So the sound is like totally different there. You know, it's nothing like what it ended up being. I can tell we're going to get some system overloads today. We're going way too crazy. Maybe it's probably a lot of soothes open. That's what it is on the vocals, probably. Oh my god, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of plugins. Yeah, let me switch Soothe 2s to like basic mode or whatever it is. That'll help. Eco. And Soothe. Spot your Soothes, everyone. Normal. You know, I can probably just take it off that if I need to. Soothes. Saturn, that's probably in high quality. You can turn off. I should always prepare these before I do these breakdowns. Because I'm streaming from the same laptop, which is completely dumb, but I can't be bothered to carry 2 laptops around the world, so I'm not going to change. There you go, there's another one, high quality, off. When we finished this tune with Zed in Capitol Studios, he brought an entire Mac Pro with him. So everywhere he goes, he takes a Mac Pro with a whole huge monitor and a guy who just sets it up. And I was like, man, I just feel completely inequipped for my job right now. But whatever, it does the job just about. Okay, I think we're good. So yeah, here's some more. I'll just skip through this a bit so you can hear like kind of how the tune evolved and what we were playing. I've never used this before, this audio. So yeah, we were immediately going techno, as you can see. Did you hear that? That was like the first time it sort of happened. Oh, for God's sake. Stop it. That was like the first time that he sort of transitioned into... So that was literally the first time it happened, you know. So that's how the tune was born, you know, messing around on the synth, and you got that lick. And for a while it was very chromatic. No. So you can hear me messing with the filter. So, you know, me and Howard are like shouting at him like, this is sick, keep going. Don't stop, just keep the vibes coming. And this looks like where it begins to get a little pluckier. So I guess we were... getting there. Still very chromatic compared to what it ended up being. Getting there. See, I did use bits like this in the breakdowns, like when it gets really long. But yeah, we got to find the bit. There you go, that's the riff, isn't it? Very dope. Reverb on the synth, there's a little effects bit on it. Yeah, I forgot the name of the synth. I just texted Anton before the stream. Oh, here you go. Sledge. It's the Sledge. It's pretty cool. I can show you guys. See that? I would zoom in, but it'll go really blurry. Yeah, the Sledge Studio Logic. I like the all black keys. Yeah, I'd never seen one before or used one. I don't know I think it's a digi-synth. Maybe it's analog. I actually have no idea. I think it's probably digi. It's very light. But it sounded great. So this was all done on that, recorded through my SSL desk into Logic. Oh, Jesus. That transition is way too big. I think it's like a .mov file. So, yeah, need to not do that. Yeah, this is it. This is where he started to get it. Sick. Imagine if he played that. So you can see his timing is like insane. The swing is like spot on. Like, yeah, I didn't really need to do very much, except choose our favorite bit. Yeah, that's the final drop. That is literally as it is, you know, on the tune. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So yeah, I'll talk you through my processing of the bass. Oh, we got another soothe there. Let's take that off. It's on normal. I'll just get rid of it. All right, so you just heard the bass raw. I'll give you some crazy bits. So first up, some overdrive, not too much, but just enough to pump it up. Then some EQ going into FabFilter, and this is, we're boosting some lows, subtracting some low mids, like 150 hertz. It was quite like, what's the word? A bit boxy around there. So I wanted more sub and less like 100. And also for a bass line, like it's very high up in the range. Like there's not actually a lot of boom down there. It's very, so that's why I'll get to this later, but the bass of this tune really technically is kind of the kick, because the kick is just going ooh, ooh, ooh. Massive sub every beat, which I don't usually do. I usually like quite a short kick, but this was like a full beat's worth of sub, because the bass is just going and, you know, there's nothing really down. So I'm doing crazy, you know, cut off stuff on the synth anyway, but I'm also doing crazy cut off stuff on FabFilter. So there's like two filters working at once, one that was done when we recorded and another one later on Logic. And I just drew all that in with a mouse. Boosting the high mids and taking out a little bit of more lows. Then a bit of compression to make all those crazy Larry bits a bit less crazy. It's very light though. See that? It just catches those little moments where you'd get in the red if you didn't have one. I love that. It's that compression, so stabby, so good. I had some compression on the SSL on the way in as well, I think. Probably put it a little bit through the G bus just to give it that front end, like da, 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 on the stabs. All right, so here now we get into the overdrive craziness. So watch the settings on Decapitator move around here. So it's interesting, right? Because usually you'd use distortion to make the sound bigger. So you would probably have the biggest sound on the drop. But I'm using it with all the sub taken out as more of a textural thing, because we didn't really record any sections with like more release and more cut off. Like we did, but it wasn't perfect. So instead, I'm adding more frequencies using distortion. So it sounds like I'm riding something on the synth, but I'm not. I'm just feeding it all through Decapitator on punish mode, which is pretty serious anyway. And I've got it all the way up to 9. Shout out to Howard. And then almost all the way up on the wet and dry knob too. So it's like serious amount of distortion, but it's for a build up. So I quite liked that. I was like, I wonder if I can make the sound huge and very full in the build up, and then the beat comes in and it's actually kind of smaller, but the sub comes back, so it's fatter. It was like a balancing act, kind of. That's kind of what I was trying to achieve anyway. It's so distorted, it's actually going out of tune. Like the harmonic resonances and stuff are going crazy, which I love. It's kind of like a 303. Like I wanted to try and trick people to see if anyone thought it was a 303 in these moments, but it's not. It's literally all that one synth. So cool. Then a bit of H delay, which is probably doing some. Yeah, just messing around with the millisecond timing and the feedback and everything, just making it all have loads of movement, and giving it stereo width as well, because it's just a mono synth, so it needed some like width. Reverb doing the same thing. Crazy. I've actually got a limiter at the end of this too, because there are just moments that are so Larry that I just needed to make sure we weren't going to hit the red. It's not really hitting it very much, like you see here. It's taking off like I don't know, 1 dB, 2 dB, and it's just because there's such a huge transient at the start. Like, it's not really affecting the sound. It's just the transient at the beginning. I probably just overcompressed it, to be honest, on the way in. And then again on the CLA and some decapitator. I mean, there's a lot of like, buh, going on. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that we were catching any peaks. I wouldn't usually limit something like that, but I just wanted to for safety. Like, it's nowhere near hitting it there. It's in the, yeah, just balancing out the notes. I can't hear it. And then there's like a stereo tremolo thing, which is doing some crazy panning during these moments. So I'm taking the whole sound and moving it left and right really quickly as well. So that's pretty fun. Damn, we've got a lot of questions already that I've just completely missed, but I'll take a quick few because we've just done the bass, so that makes sense. 303 vibes, those plugins. Hey, Disclosure, do you go about setting your reverbs and delays in order to keep them clean in the mix? How do you do that? Yeah, okay, well, I mean, reverb is easy tip is take the bass out. It's pretty rare that you need a really boomy low-end reverb. I usually cap mine at like 400 or 500 hertz and roll it off there. And also the super highs too. I mean, I find on reverbs, you do want some nice like shine in there, but you want that to fade out quite quick. So I always have the high shelf on the dampening here on mega low. So you get the middle of the reverb going, but then the super highs, they fizzle out quite quick. So you can control all that with damping, it's called. So that's a good tip. I love H delay. I just love the ping pong on it. Super stereo. I love the modulation on it. It's a classic. That is like not far off my go-to settings, to be honest. It would probably be something like that if I'm to like begin a project like that. So you could screenshot that. That would help you. This is using it. I'm using it a bit differently today. What is the biggest thing that surprised you when working with him? That he was a drummer. I had no idea he was a drummer. And then I saw a video of him drumming like the day before really well. And I was like, oh, he drums. And I think that's how he started. He was a session drummer. So didn't know that. And how good he was at keys was very sick. Why slice mode instead of monophonic in flex for the bass? Okay, so the different flex modes, you kind of need to hear them to understand what's going on here. Slice literally moves the audio by transient. It's not stretching or warping. It's actually moving. So the advantage is preserved quality. The disadvantage is sometimes gaps between the audio. So if you do it with a vocal, you'll get enormous dropouts. It's not good for vocals, but for stabby stuff, drums, a really plucky bass like this, it's actually really good. I find. So here it is with slicing. Oh, that's a bad bit to do. Give me some clean bass. Yeah. Turn off these effects. So if I do polyphonic, let's say, totally different sound. Do you hear all those like artifacts in the top as well going here? You know, doesn't sound good to me. So you got to play around with these modes and see which one works best. Often for bass, monophonic is going to do a good job at preserving like the sound, kind of, but you still get artifacts, I find. Yeah, for me, I try and use slice mode the most, and speed. Speed mode preserves all the quality, but you're going to get pitch differences. That's pretty good on monophonic. Speed is not going to work at all because that's going to push all of the pitches out. It's really cool, but it's mad. This one is, I don't even know what you call it. Mental mode. So yeah, I've gone with slicing. Just play around with each one, see which one sounds best. Different. You'll need a different mode for different instruments. It's not a one works with all situation. Hey, disclosure, do you use your... Hang on if I missed something. Do you use your sidechain filter on your compressors using the frequency controls? Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, you're talking about here, right? Yeah, I do, if I need to. You know, when would I use that? I tell you where I use it. Not on the Logic one, but I use it on my G-Bus on my output track. That's one of the good things about the G-Bus plugin that I don't believe the real thing has, is this sidechain filter. So on my master, I always roll off the bass because I don't want the kick and the sub to squash the mix. I want to let the bass through because I'm happy with the punch. It's house music, you know, it's ooh, ooh, every beat. You don't want to be squashing the whole mix every beat. Filter that out on the sidechain and then let the vocals, the synths and the snare drums and stuff do the work. So I use it every mix, actually. Just not as often on individual tracks, but if you need to, do it. That was helpful. No worries, Lee. Something, if I missed this before, is there just one synth layer or multiple? Basically, there's two synths and then a layer of a bunch of one-off random noises, which Anton made that I don't know how they were made or what synth they were on. Anyway, let's get to the fun bit of the bass. I'll take some more questions in a bit. The acid jam. So what I did here is I ran the whole synth through Decapitator, like I showed you before, and I just completely went mental with it. Like I boosted the... Actually, I think I've got it. I think I've got the hidden file. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So that's the comped version. So I basically sat with this loop running for ages, and I put it through a decapitator, but before the decapitator, I put an EQ. And I was basically doing some crazy, really aggressive sweeps with the EQ and recording that as I did it. So it was kind of like jamming on a 303, you know, with the resonance and the cutoff and whatever, but I don't have a 303, so I was just using my mouse. And it ended up sounding like this. So there's loads, you know. I mean, I went through it with Howard and Anton, and we just chose our favorite bits. But they're all pretty cool. Like there's some seriously aggressive ones. Right, you can change just flavors. They're all the same note, you know. It's just different filter. Aggressive as hell. So yeah, I mean, to my ear, that sounds bloody great. I mean, a real 303 through a real, like, what's the modded 303? The fish one, the something fish. There's a 303 you can buy. It's got something fish written on it, and that's got built-in overdrive and distortion. Sounds a bit like that. So yeah, probably one of the most aggressive bassline sounds I've ever done. But I don't know, it needed to lift again, and we'd already gone pretty hard in the second drop, so I was like, Devilfish, that's the one. So yeah, we took it to acid land. There's a bit of processing going on that as well, and it's quite cool. It kind of goes in between the original bass, so you've got like the first bass there. It's like a call and response thing. Skipping around between the two. So yeah, I've just got a compressor on there, just controlling the madness. I've got Soothe taking out some harshness in the top. It's mostly on these bits. See that scoop? Just get rid of all that pain. Not too much, but just enough so it's not ripping everyone's heads off in the club. EQ, I'm just boosting the sub. Don't think anything, nothing else happens there. Then a load of delay and load of reverb on the bass, which I don't usually do either, but it just needed to sound absolutely massive. So someone says also fits Zed's aesthetic. It kind of does, actually, yeah. He does like heavy shit. Maybe I was trying to impress Anton without knowing it. I was like, he's going to love this. There you go. Most people, it's not a normal thing really to put reverb on a bass guitar or a bass synth as much. But if you're gonna, definitely roll off the lows because you don't need all that boomy. Like, look, imagine if it was like this. Just a car crash of muddiness down there. So, yeah, that's it. And then it's being sidechained by the kick pretty heavily. So, yeah, and then there's a couple details here. Well, we got a Z bass fill, so he must have... Whoa. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this is a cool little slow down idea that we made together. Let me turn off the delay and reverb and take this. That's crazy. I love that stuff. Yeah, originally we had it as this, actually. This is before I added the acid stuff, so I had to make room for the acid stuff. It's a very dope drop. So yeah, it was like that originally, and then once I put the acid section in, I had to mute those notes, mute this note to make room for that. That section there is so crazy. What's going on there? Is there like a tremolo or something? Yeah, tremolo comes in and pans it left and right really fast. That'd be the full amount. Yeah, cool. I think that's the bass covered. Anyone got any questions about the bass that I didn't say? The bus has just got nothing. It's just got a bit of side chaining. I'm using multiband, so I'm just side chaining the sub and leaving all of the rest of the frequencies in. Yeah, super aggressive section, that. I love it. Do you prefer using a MIDI controller to write all that automation, or do you do it manually? I like to use a controller or just the mouse to draw it in, and then I neaten it up with the like by drawing. Yeah, like I don't like loads of dots everywhere. I like a nice clean line, so I'll jam it in and then, yeah. Nothing about the bass. You're just great. Thanks a lot, Vins. I don't know how to say your name. Vinsnix. Vinsnix. Can we see Howard's pipe stacks? We absolutely can. I was going to do drums next, but that's fine. Let's do vocals because they're right there. So here's Howard. Howard singing on the whole track. A lot of plugins here. A lot of plugins. Look at this. Especially the bus. That's a hell of a stack. Jeez. We got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11 plugins, is that? Yeah, that's insane. Here's a little blast of Howard's plugins. Of Howard's plugins, of Howard's vocals.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on. You got to let go if you wanna be free. And everybody knows it, the secret that we're holding. You got to let go. Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on. You got to let go.
Hey, yeah, system overload. We've got a lot of audio going on here. Sorry, guys. So yeah, you got 4-ish harmonies. 3 harmonies and then like the lead, yeah. I don't know where the goes went. Oh, there's a go. like an extra loud go on one of the harms.
Let go.
Yeah, man, I don't know how we're going to do this. I might have to take some stuff off, unfortunately, especially soothe. Quality eco, yeah, it's not gonna cut it. I'm gonna have to get rid of soothe. So sorry, everyone. You're gonna hear a slightly different version than the original. It's minor details. Okay, that should help. Maybe.
You got to let go. If
That is an insane note. Go. Is it go? Yeah. Is it the second or something? I don't know. It's like some weird harmony that he put in just once. But yeah, mostly it's just 3 vocals, like 1 down the middle, 2 panned each side by 30, if you're talking Logic numbers. Yeah, so not hard panned, just sort of floating around the middle. And yeah, enormous vocal chain, enormous everything. Using a bit of auto-tune on this tune as well, which I don't usually do, but it just was adding a nice sort of texture to Howard's voice. You know, he sung it in June because he's a good singer and he always does, but we got it's on a like very slow speed, so it's not sounding like Cher. But I don't know, it was just adding like a cool texture to his voice this time, so I ended up putting it everywhere. Which, I mean, you guys have seen my breakdowns. I don't usually ever do that, but it just sounded good. Sounded fine. So I went for it. Here's the vocals.
wasted, don't know which way you're facing.
So now I'll show you them with absolutely no plugins. Now, there might be a few sends here and there, but I'll try and... Actually, yeah, there we go.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on. You got to let go if you wanna be free.
So yeah, lots of low mids, lots of like build up.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on.
So, you know, it's very clear recording. There's not lots of background noise. He's very close to the mic. It was on my Neumann U87 into the SSL. Bit of treble boost, boosting the... I actually did probably take out the low mids a bit, but the Neumann captures so much low end. So yeah, bit of compression on the way in as well. That's it. And then straight into the Apollo. I don't think... Oh, I think I recorded him using the Fusion as well, the SSL Fusion, which kind of works in conjunction with the 6. And it has a lovely vintage drive on it. So I probably ran it through there just for the vintage drive. I might have used the EQ on that instead of the desk as well. So yeah, SSL, everything, basically, preamps, etc. So nice clean recording. It wasn't in the most ideal vocal booth. He was in like a closet, basically, with some clothes. So yeah, it could have been better. First up is the Tube Tech.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on.
So a bit more compression, just controlling the vocals. Getting rid of low mids immediately.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing.
Pulling up the highs and taking out this resonance that I didn't like. It's like the ch sound was making this horrible thing. De-esser.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing.
Getting rid of the S's. Then it's a bit of auto-tune.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on.
I mean, I can't even hear it, really. It's very subtle. When you put it across the mix, though, and bypass them on and off, you can definitely hear like a textural change. Kind of ethereal, almost. It's made it a bit different to Howard's normal tone.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing.
Bit of Oxford inflator. You can hear me punch it in and out. It's very subtle, but it does a lot.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on. You got to let go if you wanna be free.
Yeah, and then exactly the same settings on these two on the side, panned left and right, obviously.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on.
So that's without the Oxford inflator, and I'll put it back on, and you'll really sort of hear what it's doing.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on. You got to let go if you wanna be.
You know, it's just adding like a richness. It is boosting the gain a little bit, which you should try and balance out so you can really hear what it's doing. But I love it. You know, I'll put it there. I'll put it on the bus. I'll put it on the master bus. It just gives everything like a, yo, up front here, like it's go time. Inflation. Actually, no, inflation is bad in money, but it's good in music. That's what you want. You want inflation. Okay, so then those are going to the bus, the vocal bus. First up, another compressor, because we've got 3 vocals now instead of 1, so we want to sort of glue those together with some compression. I'm using the Blue Stripe because it adds a lot of harmonic saturation and details, which, you know, when you're not recording through an old vintage desk, you kind of want to add. So
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on. You got to let go if you wanna be free. And everybody knows it. The secret.
You can hear it just like balancing everything out. It's a bit punchy, like it's not that subtle. It's quite aggressive, but yeah. Then I put the whole lot through this Neve 1073. It's literally not doing anything. I've got the EQ turned off. I've got everything at 0. It's literally just so they go through a Neve at some point, because I just love the Neve sound. Like the SSL sound is extremely clear and like crystal clear. It's so good for recording. But the Neve, and the Neve's great for recording too, but it adds a lot of character. So I was missing it. I put it back in the chain. The difference is absolutely tiny.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on. You got to let go if you wanna be free. And everybody knows it.
I mean, I'm toggling it on and off there, and I can't even hear the difference. It's so subtle, but it's more of a psychological thing for me, to be honest. It's just like, it's just not done unless it's gone through a Neve at some point, even if it's not real, you know, just the plugin. Next up, some Gem Dopamine. This is boosting the highs and also de-essing at the same time.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on.
So it's just adding lots of like air. I love that plugin. And then another de-esser, because I just didn't. I felt like it was boosting in a great way, but it wasn't subtracting enough.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing.
Also, I love the Fab Filter de-esser because it runs in stereo mode too. So if you put the stereo link down to 0, it de-esses each side independently, which is pretty useful for a group vocal. Then some EQ, taking out more lows, boosting some high mids. That's it.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on. You got to let go if you wanna be free. And
so now we're really getting there. You know, now it's really starting to sort of sound like a polished vocal. Then I was going through Soothe and a bit of Saturn for saturation, and Soothe is, you know, helping out with the vocal tone a bit, but my laptop's going to explode if I have those on. Then we're going through a Pultec. I'm using it to take away a bit of lows. And I think I'm boosting like a tiny bit of 10K as well. Again, the Pultec, you don't even really need to move the knobs. You can just like put stuff through it and it will add a vibe. Like it will add some character, some EQ, some saturation. So even if all the knobs are on 0, it is doing stuff. But I am using it to just, pull out the lows a bit. So I think that does on and off. Yeah, here you go, without.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing. You can't hold on. You got to let go if you wanna be free. And everybody knows it. The secret that we're...
Yeah, I'm also using it to back off the gain a tiny bit, but it's just pulling out the lows. That's all you need to know, and adding some more saturation. I'm all about adding saturation in little stages as we go. H delay, we've been through this. H delay, reverb, and then there's various sends. Most of these are going to some delays, like the "if you wanna be free, be free, be free." I'll try and find that bit. I think it's probably here.
You got to let go if you want.
Well, we've got to get there first.
If you wanna be free.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Be free.
That's not one of the bits. It's got to be here.
Be free.
There you go. There it is.
Wanna be free.
All right, so I'm using bus 15 for this. So that delay is mostly made of Echo Boy, doing half notes. and that is going through a load of decapitator to make it sound very crunchy and lo-fi, and yeah, just not. I didn't want a clean delay. I wanted it to sound very like in the background and crunched. I'm also taking out all the lows, and yeah, I want it to sound like a small radio speaker, basically. So here's how the delay would have sounded if I just left it as it was.
Go if you wanna be free. Be free, be free, be free.
It's fine, you know, it's nice, but it's nowhere near.
Go if you wanna be free. Be free, be free.
It's like that crunch of the be free.
Go if you wanna be free.
That happens a lot during the tune. There's a lot of sort of call and response of that delay and Howard's vocal because there's so many gaps between them. And the whole song is just one repeating chant, you know, like that vocal is the whole song. It just happens lots of times. So you're trying to create variety, and you're trying to keep it fresh each time it goes around. So sometimes there's like quarter note delay, sometimes there's half note delay, sometimes the delay goes be free, be free, be free, be free, goes mad. So yeah, someone said, do you upload these after? Yeah, this will be on YouTube, and I'm sure Soul State will also make an edit as well. But they do exist on YouTube. Subscribe. Do it. Also subscribe here, because then you'll know when I'm doing them. I do these not as often as I used to, but yeah, I do them. So then the harmonies and stuff, they don't have quite as much processing going on. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're processed exactly the same. These ones don't have tune because they didn't need it. These ones do. The goes don't. Yeah, I wanted to keep some human characteristics in there, so I didn't need tune on everything. So here's the first harmony. Please play.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing, you can't hold on.
Actually, that's two harmonies, isn't it? The first one is that.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing, you can't hold on. You got to let go.
So that's the fifth, I think. Go if you want to be free.
Wasted, don't know which way you're facing, you can't hold on.
There's that one. And then the other ones only sort of happen towards the end. I think later in the song they happen, throughout this whole section.
Wanna be free, and everybody knows it. The secret that
My computer's not going to like all these audio tracks.
secret that we're holding, you got to let go if you wanna be free.
So that's pretty cool. But these two down here, these are my absolute favorite harmonies of the day. These two. Or is that, no, these are all the same. You've got to let go. That is so dope.
Secret that we're holding, you got to let go if you
I made sure those were really loud in the mix. Like, I think those are actually, they might be slightly louder than the lead just at that moment because I just love them.
holding, you got to let go if you wanna be free.
And then the delay does all the harmonies as well.
And everybody knows it, the secret that we're holding, you got to let go if you want.
Yeah, what I like about this is there's so much like suspense in the harmonies. Like there's so much unresolved until the you've got to let go, which is kind of it. Like that's the vibe, right? With the vocal, you've got all this tension, you've got to let go. And so there's like a second and a fourth and a sixth, you know, none of the super satisfying, like we're home now harmonies in the vocal until you've got to let go, where it all resolves to just be free. So I really like that about this vocal. I don't know if Howard and Anton were trying to do that, but it happened, you know.
And everybody knows it, the secret that we're
Like the secret that we're holding is like fighting one of the other notes, and it's like it's not that resolved.
And everybody knows it, the secret that we're holding, you got to let go if you wanna be free.
And then it all, you know, resolves to just like a nice minor chord. So lots of dissonance. This is really cool, this part. So down here is this thing which Zed added. So in the vocal, there's no low. We didn't record if you wanna be free because it's kind of really like really low and a bit silly. So he did it on a vocoder. Here it is. You won't believe this is in there.
If you wanna be free.
But I rolled off all the highs and just boosted the bass. So all you hear is Right? It makes a huge difference. So when you listen to the whole stack, I'll turn it off this time.
Got to let go if you wanna be free.
If you wanna be free is the lowest note, and now
Got to let go if you wanna be free.
Free if you wanna be free. So yeah, probably should have got it resung, but I like hiding stupid shit like that in the tracks because, well, when I show you guys, it's hilarious, but as if anyone would know. It sounds crisper without an EQ. Well, yeah, but I don't want that. That's definitely not what I want. Not when it sounds as lame as that.
If you wanna be free.
Yeah, we all knew that wasn't a good sound, by the way. It wasn't like Anton was like, check it out. It was just like, we should put the lows in. And I just did the filter and we're like, we're good. It doesn't matter. It's going to be fine.
If you wanna be free.
Yeah, it's totally fine. That's the vocal. It just sort of is chopped up and used in various ways, and some of the harmonies get muted and come and go, but that's the vocal. There's no, there's nothing except automation to make it a bit different each time. Those are the delay sends, the pink one. So that's each time it's going to the be free, be free. You know.
Be free.
I didn't even do a good job at chopping that. Be free. It should just say be free.
You got to let go if you wanna be free.
Yeah, look, there's some like vocal, there's some EQ build-ups, there's some reverb automation, there's some volume automation. Yeah, but it's very simple. We were kind of going for like an F for You round 2 vibe, you know? If we were going to make a song like F for You today, with everything we've learned over the last 10 years, what would it be like? It's probably something like this. Classic Howard, simple chanting, repeating vocal, going through a load of crazy effects. With a silly vocoder bass note. Okay, cool. So now we should go back to the synths because I didn't cover all of those like sort of one shots and special things that are happening. So there's a lot of monotribe. I used my monotribe a lot in this song. You know, moments like that, just different tones and timbres. That one gets used a lot. There's this sort of thing. Yeah, for those who don't know, a monotribe is this thing. It's made by Korg. I think they don't sell them anymore, but I love it. I wish they did. It's such a good synth. They do the little ones still, but I've got the big one. Me and Howard used to use them on stage every day. I've actually put one into our DJ set now as well because it's so fun to just have on like an exterior channel into the mix. You can just make build-ups live on stage. You know, if the tune's not got enough like let's go, you can just ride it. It's so much fun. Sounds from Space says green onions. I read that as green oignons. I'm not even going to try. That's beyond my vocab. Lots of build-ups. Yeah, it's just a bit of that every time. What's this? How did I make that? I don't even remember. I think that's this. I think it's my Roland System 8. I think I was just messing around with it. And yeah, each one of these is different throughout the whole song. Again, just a bit of variety. Keep it fresh. Keep it flowing. Yeah, I just did a pass of the whole thing. Lots of crazy out of space stuff. This string thing Anton added, and I love this. The note that this does, that it resolves on, is so tasty. And I mean, it sounds like a Formula One car, and that's dope because I love Formula One. That is so sick. It literally sounds like an F1 car going through the tunnel at Monaco. But when you hear it with the keys, it's such a sick note. Is that the ninth? I don't know. Some sort of dope jazzy note.
Be free, be free, be free. You got to let go. Wasted, don't know which way you're facing.
Yeah, very cool. I should probably talk about the harmony a bit, actually. So these are the chords, if anyone wants to learn them on keys.
Be free, be free, be free, be free.
So what's that? A minor 7, 9, C6, D6, A minor 7. That's it, with some crazy octaves jumping around at points. Yeah, that's it. Very simple. Didn't need to spend too much time on the chords because the bass is so crazy. Like the bass is so busy. We didn't want to like drown it out with mad harmony, you know, in the synth. It goes legato here. Same chords though. There's a few like little walk ups here. Some subtle changes.
Wasted, don't know which way.
Wait, how can I just hear that? Go away. Need to fix my shortcuts. I updated Logic the other day and it's changed a bit. Yeah, I love that. Adding in the nah, it's the same note as the Formula One car was doing. Oh, yeah, it's going. It gets faded out, but yeah, I did some modulation there as well. That's the notes. What else we got? Some one-time things. What's this thing? Oh yeah, this bit. This is crazy. This bit. So the whole song is in A minor, but for 4 bars it goes to major for like no reason. Or is it like the dominant something? I don't know. You guys can probably tell me because I didn't do this. This was Howard and Zed, but no, sorry, this was Zed. Zed's idea was can we just go major for like 4 bars just for no reason and then back? And I was like, whoa, we don't usually do key changes here at Disclosure, but I think he pulled it off because it's so like triumphant at the end. It's like we're going, like you got to let go if you want to be free, and it's like, you know, it's towards the end of the track and it's like major just for a second to be like, we're free. And then back to the minor to sort of do the fade out. So yeah, it's this really fun moment. It kind of needs the bass as well for context. So let me just add the bass in. Yeah. Crazy. Where's that bit as well? The dip-a-dip-a-dip-a-dip-a here. Yeah, I think that's an Anton special. So dope. So yeah, we went major just for one time with the acid bass. So sick. So yeah, it is. I think it's a key change. A minor modulating to A major. And then back. So yeah, I don't think we had to change the vocals or anything. I think it all worked. Howard thought we might have to tweak a harmony or something by a semitone, but I think it was just fine in the end.
You got to let go.
Mad. So yeah, I would never have usually thought to do something like that. That's why it's fun to collab with people like Anton, because he's like, shall we go major just for a second? Terrible impression of Anton. My God, he's going to kill me. He did this at the end as well. This really cool ARP thing. Just like we were both, I think, talking about songs that a new element of the song happens in the fade out. Like, you know, in old Motown records or soul records, like a solo will start on the fade out, and it's like, what was the point? Like, the guy just started, now it's gone. So we were like, let's do one of those. It's the first time you hear this up and the song's already over, you know. It's kind of just a nice floaty way to end, if you can even play the song, which I cannot. So you'll have to enjoy it in your own time. But yeah, he just sent me that, and I've done a bit of EQ. Yeah, just a bit of EQ. I can bypass that. This is how it was when he sent it. Yeah, little moments like that. I think I added those. Yeah, I just took Howard's chords and spread them out into like a little thing. Again, just stopping it from looping round and round the same, just keeping it different. That looks... extra chords. Yeah, this is cool. Tiny little thing. That was Anton as well, and he was like, the chords are missing like one little harmonic. It makes a big difference without. With. Yeah, it's cool. More details. All right, just drums to go. What's the time? Oh, an hour and a half, is it? Something like that, yeah. I'll try and wrap this up pretty soon. Okay, drums. So really simple drums for this song, which I'm pleased about. No splice loops, I don't think. It's just all played in. I think the tambourine is probably the only loop that I used. Everything else is played. As in programmed. Here's it's a kick and a hi-hat, you know, pretty simple. Big kick doing the low end, that stuff, and battery doing the top end. Battery's doing a lot of the work in this song, actually. It's mostly just 909 sounds. There's that. What's that? That's probably a Lindrum kick. I don't even know what that is. It's not making any sounds. Oh, that's right. It's just more hi-hat. So what I did is, you can't really see it, but basically this top hi-hat is different each time, just a bit, like in terms of the amount of attack. Like it floats around so that the attack is slightly different on each hi-hat. That was the level of detail I was going for. If I can let it actually play, I'll show you what I mean. I just didn't want it to have a boring old 909 hat just going every single time, you know? I wanted a bit of variety. Do you hear that? Like how it's going... It's just a bit different. And the 909 hi-hat is going again, just to stop it being this static thing that just happens every hit. Quite like doing that with my hi-hats. Yeah, the drums don't really get crazy until about halfway through the track on drop 2 here. That's when they really pick up speed. So that is like an enormously long kick. I would never usually use a kick that long, but this tune needed it. Like I said earlier, the bass line is very busy, but it's like very punchy notes, like are quite high up. Doop, 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 doop. There's no ooh, just weight down there. So I'd use the kick instead. See the long note here? Oh yeah, Anton wanted to mute that. I'll put it back in. Yeah, imagine that. Boom. So yeah, that's why I like using big kick, because you have complete control over the release of the kick, you know. So that's doing that. Yeah, all those rims and hi-hats and stuff are all in battery. It's all this stuff. It's actually 707, isn't it? It's all Roland drum machines, old vintage Roland drum machines. There's some claps going on. There's the monotribe is kind of jamming out, which is quite fun. So that's kind of the snare. And then you got two like really dead, boring snares underneath, just to give it some like low mids, because the monotribe was very psh. The claps are all very, there's no like, you know, in the snare. It's like a Michael Jackson snare. Beat it, beat it. That's one of the worst snares I've ever used. That's terrible, but it does the job in the mix. Inspector Norse vibes for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of that song, and the way that the drums are all modulating and it's just white noise going pff, pff, so definitely an inspiration. There's a bit of like another rim happening down here. Yeah, there you go. That's the drums. I don't think much else comes in. Oh, Anton added these like swung hats. Yeah, just some like really bit crushed hats, which are cool. Just add a really nice like swing to the whole thing. Yeah, and there's like a lot of ambient noise as well. There's people talking under here. You can only really notice that at the end of the track and the beginning when it all starts, but if I turn it on and off, you will feel it. City noise, vinyl, crackle. So yeah, that's all happening in the drum bus, I think. See how dead it sounds about. I don't know. Maybe it actually doesn't work. Maybe it should be cleaner and be more punchy just with the drums. But I don't know. For me, I kind of like the drums sounding like they're in a venue, like at a gig. So yeah, and also I put the people talking in, because usually I use tape hiss and vinyl hiss, but this time I was like, if I use people talking, you know, you've got to let go if you want to be free. It is obviously like to do with the current times we're in, about starting to go out again and explore and start your social lives again. So I don't know, I just felt like the sound of people together in a restaurant or a pub or wherever, like talking, was just a nice sentiment for this song. Like, that's not what Howard and Zed wrote the lyrics about. We just sort of figured, oh, you've got to let go if you want to be free. That's like what everyone's doing right now. So the people talking is definitely sort of a reference to the current times. You know, we're all going out to restaurants again in certain parts of the world. Anyway, sorry if you still can't, but where I am, you know, I can go and eat dinner now with my friends and we can have a dance again. And yeah, so that's why I wanted to put some humans having a nice social life in the song, because it hasn't happened in ages. Last bits, guys, the final frontier. We got Anton did these little moments here. So sick. I love that. When he showed me that, I was like, ooh, that is naughty. Very, very dope. Oh, I love that one. Yeah, just this huge reverb. So he added all that. System overload. You can do one. A few impacts in here as well. Real impact. Yeah, some quite like cinematic stuff. I don't really have many sounds like that, so that was cool to add some stuff like that. It really helps build the suspense. Trust me, it really helps. And then, of course, classic Z clock. Come on, had to. It's in there. It's subtle, but it's in there. I think that's it. Oh, there's the ride symbol. I think he did the ride. Yeah, nice little ride symbol. Already did the crushed hats. Filtered panning. I don't know what that is. Yeah, just more little fills. Is that it? Is that the whole song? Oh my god, yes, I think it might be. Yeah. I don't think I told you about the Poly 6, but it's not doing much. You can just hear it one time if it plays. Sweepy stuff. Yeah, just adding some classic Juno Poly 6 vibes. I can show you the master bus, but you guys have seen my master bus a million times. We're going SSL G bus, and then into some tape, some Studer tape. Then this is actually different for me. Yeah, we're going through a Fairchild. I whacked it on there. I know why, because we were going to Capitol to do like the final mix, and there's a real one at Capitol, so I was like, I'll test out if I like a Fairchild on this or not, and then maybe we'll master it through the Fairchild. We actually ended up mastering it through the SSL Fusion, but I still liked the sound of this. Like, again, with Fairchild, you don't even need to move the needles. Like, it's a compressor, but it adds a lot of soul and character to the mix. So I just left the plugin on. It's not even hitting the needles, I don't think. It was just a warmth vibe. So yeah, Fairchild on the master bus, which is not my usual vibe, but I liked it on this tune. Oxford Inflator, Saturn 2, adding some subtle tube. I finally got Saturn 2. It's actually way better. Should have done it ages ago. And then we were playing around with Ozone 9 for widening, but I ended up bouncing it out bypass because the SSL Fusion has a fantastic stereo image widener anyway. So this was sort of more just to get the vibe of how much I thought was good in headphones of widening. And then I bounced it out bypassed and did it on the SSL because it's better. It's not better. It's tasty. So can I show you guys what all this is doing without the entire song overloading? Probably not. So here we go. It might work. Just this and warmth. The Fairchild. Let's see if we can even hear this. Oh, I've only even got the mix on like 30% as well. Yeah, this is insanely subtle. Is there an on-off switch? Yeah, here. All right, here's off. If you wanna be free. Well, yeah. There's always going to be that problem. Maybe if I turn it on full, you can appreciate it. It's like rolling off the bass a little bit and adding some more like warmth around 100, 200 hertz, and then it's sort of rolling off the very highs as well, which I like personally. In dance music, there's so much up there, and I don't mind rolling off some highs and making it nice and warm. So it's adding a bit of EQ and some other stuff. But yeah, that is a strange choice for me. I wouldn't usually do that. This is next. Immediately, you know, just I'm here. Saturn 2, subtle tube. I've turned all these modes off to try and make it work. Let's see if it will do it. Yeah, usually I'd use the clean tube setting, but because I already had a Fairchild in there, which is also adding saturation, I didn't need as much, so I went with the subtle tube. And then we have ozone. Do we? Yeah, doing the widening. Let's bypass it on and off. You'll really hear this if you're wearing headphones. You can just hear like Howard's panned harmonies and everything around the sides just pump up, you know? Just has a lot of... Just gives it more body and width. To be honest, that's quite subtle. On the SSL, I probably went higher and gave it even more, because why not? And that's it. Then I would have sent it off for mastering and got it limited. And I don't know how much he did or what they used, but probably the L2 Fab filter. There you go, guys. That is my breakdown of Zed and Disclosure. You got to let go if you want to be free. Out now. Okay, that didn't go well. One sec. Any questions? How did Zed make those 909 fills? I actually don't know. Sorry. Didn't see him do it. He did that at home and then brought it to the session. I know he uses Cubase. That's all I know. So something on Cubase. Have you heard of the Nox? No, I have not. Sorry. We played with Todd Terge back in the day. Yeah, we did. Somewhere. Oh, you played with Todd Terge. Nice, nice. Very cool. Germany, you can't even meet with more than 10 people. What? Mate, there's festivals going on here of 10,000 people. Not to boast. I don't make the rules. But geez. Is there a chance you can play a game in live? No. No chance. Disclosure, when are you going to be in the UK Northeast? I don't know what festivals are announced and what aren't announced yet, so I don't want to say. I don't know if we're doing anything up there. We're doing our London shows, but they're all sold out in about a month. Actually, no, not even a month, like 2 weeks. I can't wait. First week of March, 3 London shows back to back. Newcastle, for example. No, we're not coming up anytime soon. Just doing the London shows for now. Later in the year, though. Yeah, just keep your eye on socials. You'll know when time is. Can I see your new studio setting? I mean, this is pretty much it. I can kind of show you guys this, I suppose. One sec. That where it was before? Yeah, pretty much. It was a bit more like that, right? Yeah. God damn it. That'll do. Yeah, beautiful view of the canyon. It's lovely. Yeah, I've got the Adam monitors set up. Adam's sub on the floor. I don't think you saw that, but yeah, SSL stuff everywhere. The Fusion's just there, plugged in. I'm actually going through the Fusion right now, talking to you. It's just so extra. I love it. What is Apollo Records? Apollo Records is just the name that we've been using to self-release stuff. I wouldn't say we've set it up as an official label or anything yet, but yeah, it's just like you have to write something in that bit of Spotify when you put a tune up. So we put up Apollo Records. Apollo was the name of our great-granddad, Apollo Korkinis. So named it after him. We also have a song called Apollo. Any sub under the desk? Yeah, I don't know what sub it is. It's an Adam sub. Yeah, it doesn't say on the front, so I don't know. You named your kitten Apollo. That's sick. Adams are good. I like these monitors. I mixed it mostly in here, and then we went to Capitol Records and I mixed it through a massive pair of ATCs as well, which really helped. And then they had NS10s there, they had Oratones there, they had some PMCs. I listened to it on a bunch of stuff, and in the car, my laptop speakers, iPhone, the whole works. That's important for me. What's the best way to get better at producing and songwriting? Any tips after making music for so long? Watch things like this, hopefully. That's why I do it, trying to help people get better and learn something. So keep watching, man. Neumann boxes for the mouse is extra. Yeah, I've got 2 U87s just from a mouse mat because I'm so high up. Like, I'm on this stool, which sucks. My knees are hitting the table. It's a new studio. It's going to improve. Last question, what made you cover the faces on your albums, mate? Oh, wow, that's an old question. We were using the Disclosure face anyway as a logo, and fans like you guys started putting the face on your pictures to show support for the band. And so we put it on our faces too. I started putting it on the vocalists' faces that we were working with to like say, hey, this song's coming, you should check it out. And so it felt right to do it on us as well. So yeah, it was actually the fans' decision to start doing it. All right, 2 more questions and then I'm going to go. Hey guy, would love to see how you made your earlier tracks, especially those with huge vocals. Without huge vocals, Tenderly Flow. Well, that's mean because I sing on Tenderly. So that's not very nice. No, I'm joking. Tenderly Flow. I love that you know. Yeah, I would definitely be down for that. I'd need to make sure the projects actually work and open because it's been a long time. But yeah, I'd love to do it. I Love That You Know, actually. That's a really cool project. Like, so much vocal chops going on. I'll try and dig that one out for a real old school session. Would you ever consider starting a proper label? We do. We have Method Records. Method Records have released Friend Within, Eats Everything. A bunch of people. Luxury. Check it out. We haven't done anything with it for years. I don't know why. We just kind of lost steam with it a bit, to be honest. But yeah, maybe we'll pick it up one day. What's your favorite album you've released? The next one that I haven't even started yet. It's always the next one. My first album is 10 years old next year, which is pretty mad. Boulders, yeah, that's a great tune that came out on Method. MJ Cole. Shouts to MJ Cole. Would you ever consider... Yeah, I did that. How much do you think about room acoustics? Mate, I literally stuck all these tiles up just because they looked nice where they are. In there is a vocal booth, and I did kind of think about it a bit in there, but I got bass traps and I just stuck shit up. Did I think about how it sounded? Absolutely not. I'm pretty lucky in this room. The very clear sound up front. The Adams sound great, but there's not much sub here. There's enough, but not much. But when you sit on the couch there, oh my God, it sounds like a club. It's amazing back there. So I basically listen standing just between the couch and the chair, and that is purely luck that it just sounds good. I move around so much that I don't ever get a good room. So now I've just gotten to the point where I'm really good on HD25 headphones. I can get those sounding very close. Adams, I can get the mids and highs good, and then I'll go to a nice studio that has a big system to check that the bass and the sub is all going well. Zed is working on his next album. It's coming out this year. I hope to see you guys there if by any chance. And another collab would be fire. I'd be down, yeah. I didn't know he was working on a whole album at the moment. But yeah. I do know he's playing some sort of thing for the NFL this weekend for the Super Bowl. So he's going to drop the tune. So that's going to be huge. So if you're in America, I think our song's going to be on national TV during the Super Bowl at some point. So that's sick. When will you release your 4th album? After it's made, when we start it, which is not yet. That's the answer. All right, I'm going to go, guys. See you at Bonnaroo. Yeah, that's going to be great. I love Bonnaroo. SM7 for vocals. When I'm talking to you, yes. For demos, yes. But no. Neumann U87 for recording vocals. All right. Have a nice weekend wherever you are. If you're in America, have a fun Super Bowl. It's a big deal out here. I personally don't get it. It's not soccer. It's not football. American football. Shouldn't it be called American rugby? I don't really know. Like, it's called football, but there's probably only for like a split second of the game do you actually kick the ball, and the rest of the time you pick it up and run. So I don't know what's going on there, but I'm going to watch it. Thanks for the breakdown. Peace. Yeah, cool. No problem, guys. Anytime. I will play you out with... What shall I play out? Oh, I know what I'm going to play out. Man like MJ Cole himself. See you guys in a bit. Damn it. How do I change the... I'll just do that face. There you go.